Irina Popova, the first beauty pageant. My name is Natasha. I was born in 1969 in the USSR, in one of those big faceless industrial cities no one heard of. I was 19 years old when I found out about this model agency. It was one of the kind in our town, and we are talking about the late 80s, the period of perestroika. I come from a really nice family with great parents. The problem was that I never felt like a woman. I was tall, really skinny, and looked boyish. I was bullied at school. From the very beginning, I have no respect for my own body. I had a feeling that myself and my body exist separately. I lost my virginity unwittingly. I was 17 years old. We went out with friends when some strangers invited us over in their place. We had some drinks. It was fun. Soon after, my friends left and I decided to stay. I was raped by 3 of them. I cannot say that it was a traumatic experience. I just began to hate myself even more. I knew that the model agency was just a rap parlor. It was organized by a well-known local journalist. He used to invite girls straight in his office. Once there, girls were photographed, supposedly for a beauty pageant. In reality, many of those pictures were used to make a catalogue of prostitutes. The editorial office I'm talking about was the major newspaper in the region, a region the size of the Netherlands, and the Soviet Union was still standing. This editorial office was yet another bureaucratic organization, just as the Communist Party. Virtually, it was a propaganda organ for the party. I want you to understand in what kind of world we were living then. It was a space deprived of beauty. There were concrete walls, dusty roads, and red letters, Communist Party of Soviet Union, on roofs of buildings and on posters. There were no nice things, nothing for pleasure. The word individuality was a curse word. But there were already movie tapes for rent with Hollywood fairy tales. That's where we got our knowledge that a different life exists. And we wanted to get different life as soon as possible. The Iron Curtain hadn't collapsed yet, but deep inside people knew that it was soon to happen. It was time for private business and mafia to emerge. Female escorts were in demand as never before. Soviet girls used to believe that prostitution was a synonym for freedom and fancy dangerous profession. It was thought that prostitutes earn a lot of money and get married to rich men. That's why many girls wanted to work as prostitutes. Our agency attracted mainly students from remote regions. But there were also girls like me, cultivated from good families. It was a clever system. First, the models were attracted by an ad in the biggest newspaper of the region to send their photos for a beauty contest. The prettiest of them were carefully selected to come to the office for making professional portfolio by the staff photographer. Then they were asked to participate in the model agency. Nothing seemed wrong. The authority of the main newspaper were very firm. The girls were participating in model shows in Soviet houses of culture, walking on the ring during the breaks at boxing matches. But it was all part of promoting them for the customers. Then the models were asked for private assignments. They still could resist, but the offer sums were too attractive. That's how innocent provincial girls who dreamed to be beauty queens slid into prostitution en masse. I don't know what encouraged them. For me, it was the need of male attention. I've worked as a prostitute for more than a year. I got to know many bandits intimately, who afterwards became street legends. None of them are alive now. I also lost a girlfriend to a pervert who killed her and hid her in his backyard. I found myself at death's door 2 times, but was saved by miracle. Once a client asked me out. He lived in the outskirts of the city. He offered me some wine, but I only touched the glass with my lips. This saved me eventually. I think he added a strong tranquilizer into the wine. After a while, he started dealing. Why don't you fall asleep? I can't have sex with a fully conscious woman. Then he pointed his gun at me. I don't remember how I talked him out of this desire to kill me. I only remember that I hardly could hold myself together not to laugh. This situation and my whole life seemed very stupid. To me, and I was not scared of death. That's why I probably managed to escape it. At some point, I felt that was time to leave the business. But they didn't want me to. I was a refined, smart girl, and clients loved me. They used to say, "She knows how to behave." Nevertheless, I held my ground, and my misgivings were well founded. Some months later, police discovered the brothel. There was this huge scandal, and it was all over the news. The founder of all this bribed the police and easily avoided prosecution. And there wasn't any evidence left anyway. All the photographs were gone without a trace. 20 years later, the photographs were found during the reconstruction works in the same editorial office. There was an inscription on the package, "Record of the first beauty pageant." Natasha, the girl who told us the story, recognized almost none of the girls on the pictures. This meant that there were many girls working for this model agency, maybe over 300. Later, the journalist behind all this was promoted to a high-rank position. He especially liked to hire young girls as interns, and there were a legendary sofa in his office. Everybody knew what was happening there. Once he was fired, his successor burned the sofa down behind the building. Natasha never got married. The fate of the rest of the girls remains unknown.